We're joined by the author of The Fix Is In, and he's also got a new book out, Brian Tuohy. And, of course, he was a big commentator across the board on TV and you name it, until he just began to learn that the fix was in, and the FBI admits the fix is in. Doesn't mean the whole games are rigged, but key plays, key kickoffs, key basketball, he was saying, is amazingly corrupt. I want to get his take on the Super Bowl we just saw and any other big events where the fix has been in, because the fix is in on the stock market. The fix is in on interest rates. We told you that over a decade ago. Now Rolling Stones confirmed it. Remember that headline? The fix is in on everything. LIBOR. The fix is in on the stock market with the high-frequency trading. Just realize that we don't want a chump economy. We don't want to be in a rigged system. We want to be in a system where the individual's empowered, not where the whole thing's gamed. That'd be like putting a baby in a box for the first 5 years and feeding it through a feeding tube and then opening the box up and saying, look, the baby's retarded. I'm smarter than it. And then killing it with a meat cleaver, going, I'm dominant. I locked it up and dumbed it down and gamed it. I'm the king. No, what's dominant is empowering everyone, having a level playing field, being honorable, and then dominating in that system, or at least doing well in that system by being honorable. That's called chivalry, ladies and gentlemen. Every culture had it that rose. The ancient Romans were full of chivalry, more than the English knights. Then they got decadent and had their decline. The Greeks were very chivalrous and then became corrupt in their different city-states. It's the same story, folks. You go through cycles. George Washington was a great knight in shining armor, and then things became corrupt. We need to rediscover that, and I'm telling you, the NFL is not the example of wholesomeness. Look at this. Not only was the game rigged, knowing the hand signs, that's why they dominated Peyton Manning. That's why the game was so terrible. So it was rigged on that front. Now it's come out that Obama, the Daily Caller reports, and the White House admits it, gave the key players who were their buddies information on what to tweet out to create that illusion. This is the type of stuff we're talking about. Just be aware that there's stuff being gamed going on. Brian, thanks for coming on short notice. You've got the floor. Tell us about what you saw with your expert eye, what your inside FBI sources are saying. Was this game rigged, or was it so rigged because the Seahawks knew the plays that it was a terrible game?
Well, it's hard to say. Thanks for having me on, by the way, Alex. But the thing with it is people don't believe that this is possible in the United States. And I think that's the biggest misconception that I tried to prove. I mean, I cannot say for certain whether the Super Bowl was rigged, and I don't think anybody else out there can really say for certain that it wasn't rigged. But the fact of the matter is, one of the world's biggest sporting events, actually the biggest sporting event, the World Cup, which is coming up in Brazil in 2014, we know World Cup soccer matches have indeed been fixed, and we can prove that beyond a shadow of a doubt. If they can fix the world's biggest sporting event, who's to say they couldn't fix the Super Bowl? I mean, it's a football game. That's all it really is it's merely a football game. And the fact of the matter is that gamblers have been able to get to soccer players to get them to fix matches. They've been able to get to tennis players, got them to fix matches. Cricket players got them to fix matches. They can get to our college athletes and get them to fix matches. Why do we believe the NFL, the NBA, the Major League Baseball, all these are immune from such corruption? When you look around the United States, and you see corruption in everything, be it business, politics, or even religion, unfortunately. And the fact of the matter is, with the NFL, with all these major sporting leagues, they are an entertainment industry. They are show business. They will argue this. They have argued this in front of the Supreme Court. And because they are show business, they can legally manipulate their own games and get away for it. If the NFL wanted to fix the Super Bowl, they could do it legally, and no one has any recourse or legal obligations to fight them on that.
What do you make of the quarterback saying they knew Manning's plays?
Well, you know, they very well could have figured it out. That could be a very legitimate thing. Or someone could have tipped them off. Someone could have given them the heads up and said, hey, if he does this, this is what the Broncos offense is going to do.
Exactly, I mean, and that's basically illegal, so they claim they broke the code instead of having a mole give it to them.
Exactly. And I mean, this has been going on for sports for decades. I mean, the famous shot heard around the world, which was in 1951 between the Giants and Dodgers. Supposedly they were stealing the pitching signals and knew what pitch was coming before it was thrown. I mean, this is nothing new in sports. If this truly is what happened, it could have been a tip-off. It could have been something they figured out. But, to think that these games are always on the level, I think, is very naive. I think it's incredibly naive.
Of
because
course.
People can be gotten to. I mean, that's the bottom line. The mafia knows how to get to people. The government knows how to get to people. And because the NFL has become over and above everything, I mean, in terms of sports, it's become a national holiday, the Super Bowl. I mean, it's a great
And look
thing.
at how the security's paid for by government. They're tax exempt. The NFL's tax exempt. They're really above the law. So the biggest, most corrupt thing is the prime suspect. You've got a new book out called Larceny Games. I haven't read it yet. Tell me about that.
Larceny Games is based on interviews with the gambling insiders in the sports gambling industry, as well as former FBI agents. But mainly it's based on over 400 FBI files I obtained through the Freedom of Information Act. And when the NFL claims we've never had a game fixed ever in our history by the mafia or professional gamblers, these FBI files that I unveiled, which nobody else ever accessed before. I mean, ESPN didn't get it, Sports Illustrated didn't get them. I was the one who went out and got these. These files clearly show that the FBI had numerous information on numerous games, numerous Hall of Fame players and athletes who were involved in not only gambling on their sport, but potentially fixing games. I mean, it's stuff that should be front page news in these major sports media outlets, but they refuse to cover it. I mean, they outright refuse to cover this information.
Well, sure, the FBI until the early 50s said organized crime didn't exist because J. Edgar Hoover was getting paid off.
Oh, yeah. But the fact of the matter is it's funny when you read some of these files, and some of them exist before the passage of the Sports Bribery Act, which happened in 1964, and it made it illegal on a federal level for someone to bribe a player, an athlete, or a coach to fix a game, alter the outcome of a game. The FBI had great information on players who were gambling. They had great information on owners who were gambling. And they really did nothing about it until 1964. Then they started to investigate this stuff. And what they found, I think, was very shocking. And I think if fans and people read Larceny Games, it will change their understanding of not only sports gambling in the United States, which is a massive illegal enterprise worth hundreds of billions of dollars, but it'll also change the way they look at the leagues and look at the league security divisions, which are supposed to be investigating this stuff.
Yeah, in a lot of cases, they're running the whole operation. Do you ever get told to shut up? Because I know you've been on ESPN hundreds of times before you even wrote this book. I knew that you used to be a total sports junkie. Do you ever get phone calls and said, hey, shut up?
No, they don't touch me because really the information I have, I think, is untouchable, is unquestionable. Now, people may not agree with the conclusions I reach, and I can understand that. But a lot of people, out there, people in the sports media will try to belittle me. They will try to, call me a fool, call me an idiot for believing such things. But they're covering up for themselves.
Alex Jones here to tell you about how you can help spread liberty worldwide while also enjoying what I have found to be the best tasting 100% organic coffee on the planet. For more than a decade, my favorite coffee has come from the high mountains of southern Mexico, where the Chiapas farmers grow their unique shade-grown Arabica beans. We have now managed to secure these sought-after beans in a highly customized blend. Discover and try a bag of the Patriot Blend 100% organic coffee at InfoWarsLife.com. This coffee gives you a long, smooth pick-me-up for hours without the headaches and heartburn that so many other coffees give me personally. Hands down, this is my favorite coffee, and it's taken us years to secure connections directly to the Chiapas Mexican farmers. Drop by the site today, order a bag or two, and I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Available in original or with our Immune Support Infusion Blend. You will be supporting a free press, all the while enjoying a truly great-tasting cup of my favorite coffee. Available at InfoWarsLife.com.
Hey, now you can watch the Alex Jones Show live as it happens at InfoWars.com/show.